What's poppin', y'all? DDG's debut album, Die for Respect, has finally released, and we're going to talk about whether or not the first week's sales numbers are a flop. This wasn't his first album or project. He released the project Valedictorian back in 2019, and I would consider this era when it was still valid to consider him a YouTube rapper. He just had that argument song start to take off, thanks to his really engaged YouTube audience, and music didn't seem as much of a serious thing as it does now for him. Plus, I think it's fair that we consider someone's debut album either their first album when they're signed to a major label, or if their first album after they've already had a hit song, if they're independent. And that's what this album is for DDG. He's had his first real hit song ever with Moonwalkin' in Calabasas. I'm honestly surprised the song isn't top 40 or performed better on the Hot 100, because it feels like everyone has heard it, consistently listens to it, and it's more popular and talked about than the majority of these other songs that are on the top 40. With all that being said, this album sold 9.3K first week, with the total of 11.7 million streams and 536 pure album sales. It also shows us the order in which most of the sales came from by song, and of course, number one is Moonwalkin' in Calabasas. All of these stats are from the United States. Outside of the US, streams and sales do not count for the Billboard charts, which is why it's difficult for me to just check the streams first week for the other songs and be able to accurately figure out what percentage of these sales came from Moonwalkin' in Calabasas and how many came from these other songs on the project. One thing we know for certain is that the week of this album release, Moonwalkin' in Calabasas definitely had under 6.7 million streams for the week, because this chart I have tells us exactly how much the top 50 songs streamed for every week. Do I think this is a flop for DDG? No, I do not. It would look a lot better if he had 10K instead of 9.3K, just it's more appealing to the eye. But I personally got to see what Namir sells to really judge, because I see DDG as way more poppin' and hotter than Namir currently. So if he's getting outsold by him, then something's going on here. He can't have that happening. But there are several reasons why I don't think this is a flop for DDG, and I want to address some criticisms people have of DDG. Some I agree with and I think are valid, and some I disagree with. But some I still do think they're valid even if I disagree with them. The first one I've seen happen a couple of times is that people are still calling DDG a quote-unquote YouTube rapper, and I think it's about time we drop that title from DDG. Just because he started there doesn't mean he's currently there. He's an actual rapper now. The majority of his time is dedicated to his rap career, furthering that, and recording music. A YouTube rapper is someone like Rice Gum, whose music is absolute trash. Let's keep it real here. Sure, he's got a platinum plaque, but that's from the drama surrounding the song, the fact that it was a diss, and that being a whole diss track era of YouTube. Rice Gum can't flow on a track to save his life. His cadence is trash, and I mean, let's keep it real. His music is the musical definition of zero swag or style on a track, no matter how good the beat may be or how good his alleged writer's bars were. So we got to get that out the way. Man, I hate his music. Let me not get into that. Anyway, if you have a hit song and music that the majority of people who are listening to it are not fans of your YouTube, nor do they even know that you ever did YouTube, that's officially being considered a rapper at that point. They only know you for your music. Also, I was watching this clip of an academic stream on YouTube where he was talking to someone, and this person was saying that Moonwalkin' in Calabasas was a hit because of Blueface, that Blueface carried it, and this is where I gotta look at someone like they're crazy. Sure, Blueface verse on the track was good. I'm not going to knock that. And I personally have my own conspiracy theory about Blueface on that song that I'll share in a little bit. But last year, these quote-unquote YouTube rappers were handing out stimulus packages to struggling rappers who had fell off. Let's keep it real. First, there was KSI getting Smoke Perp and Lil Pump on a feature. I hope to God that KSI did not pay either of them for a feature, because he was doing them a favor. He should have charged them to get on this song, like all these other rappers be doing them scam mixtape things, charging people to get on there. The song was called Poppin', and it has 27.7 million Spotify streams to date. What is the last song that either Lil Pump or Smoke Perp released that has accumulated over 25 million streams? Or just 20 million? Or even 15 million? Hell, let's bring it down to 10 million. Smoke Perp had a song with Jack Harlow released last year, who was one of the biggest rappers with one of the biggest songs of 2020. And that song, titled Tide Pen, has yet to hit 10 million streams on Spotify for Smoke Perp. The last single Lil Pump released was Life Like Me, and that song has 1.5 million streams. So come on now. And let's keep it real here. If DDG is getting stimulus packages from Blueface giving him a hit song, that song's a hit because of Blueface, where's Blueface's hit? Blueface can hand a hit to someone else, but he can't generate a hit for himself? What's the last Blueface song you remember hearing? Exactly. As for DDG and Blueface, this song was already good without Blueface. But what I think Blueface being on it did was add visibility to a mainstream audience. Tons of people know who Blueface is, and the fact that he was not only on this song, but actually spit a good verse, which was shocking to everyone, made people talk about it more because he's known for having a trash offbeat flow. My conspiracy is that DDG potentially wrote that Blueface verse, but there's no way to prove that. Or he at least told him to, add some lines here and there, especially that's tough part to the verse, because that was a dig and slight diss towards the YouTuber Soluminati. Which brings me to another point this person on Academic Stream was saying, that this song was a diss track, so it's less legitimate as a hit. And I completely disagree. This is not a diss track in the slightest. Just because subs are thrown at someone, or someone is dissed on a track, does not make the song a diss track. That's a massive difference. For instance, Rap Devil by MGK and Kill Shot by Eminem are two songs that are diss tracks. Back to Back by Drake is a diss track. The entire purpose of these songs, is to diss this other individual throughout the entire song in whichever way possible. And it's abundantly clear that they are dissing someone and who that is to anybody that's listening to the song. The DDG song isn't even about someone else, the majority of it. He's only using 3 to 4 lines to actually throw shots at this person, and these lines are sort of camouflaged that if you weren't really tapped in, you wouldn't even know it was a diss. I didn't know this was a diss for so long until it was pointed out to me. Oh, a rapper saying he was with someone else's girl? In my mind, that's just what every rapper talks about. How am I supposed to know it's about a specific person? Now, for criticisms about DDG that I definitely agree with, is that he comes off very approval-seeking and or embarrassed or insecure about some things, even though I hate to use that word, insecure, since so many people just slap it on somebody for dumb reasons. But he's been on interviews, and when I talk about insecure, specifically about the label of being a YouTuber or having done YouTube, because he would be on interviews correcting people that would call him a YouTuber in a manner that made it look like he felt insulted being called that, or he was being demeaned being called that. And you could tell the intention of the interviewer was not that at all. And he was making sure that they refer to him as a rapper now. And this is just so bizarre to me, man. I can't wrap my head around this. I mean, he thinks being a rapper is cooler than being a YouTuber. It's why he prefers one title over another. He said he was making well over $100K a month as a YouTuber. And this is pretty much all profit. The majority of successful rappers are not making over $100,000 a month in profit. DDG had all this influence and money. It would make more sense for him to just start a record label and promote artists. But I think he wants the social status of being known as a rapper. And if we're keeping it real, the lifestyle that DDG had, especially someone who just does vlogs and is making that much money, is way better than a rapper's lifestyle. There's so much more freedom. As a rapper, you have all of these obligations. You have to show up to shows. You have to show up to studio sessions. You have to show up to interviews. You have to do press. So you don't really have much freedom as a rapper, even if you're one of those rappers making a lot of money. You have tons of obligations. But as a YouTuber, he could just do whatever the hell he wants. He could pick up and go to Angola tomorrow, or pick up there, record some videos there, then go to Indonesia, and then go to Japan, then go to South Africa, and do whatever he wants. But I don't know. Me personally, I really like the freedom aspect. DDG also said that he wasn't really concerned with how much his album sells first week. And this is the biggest lie that anyone can ever tell you. Every signed artist 100% cares what their album sells first week. And independent artists usually don't care because they're not going to generate enough sales first week, for the most part, to even chart on the Billboard 200 albums charts. So DDG definitely cares about his first week sales. But I think DDG was trying to say or convey this point, and this is me interpreting him in good faith, that he's more concerned with how the album sells moving forward over time, whether or not people are continuously bumping the music weeks or months from its release. For example, Playboi Carti had a really good first week sales with 100K, but that album hasn't been selling well ever since then. It's been free falling on the charts. An example of an album that I think DDG wants to be like is Stoney by Post Malone. It sold about 58,000 first week, which was somewhat low when Post Malone came out. This was towards the end of 2016. It debuted at number 6, to give you an understanding. A lot of people were still buying albums at this point, and he had a massive hit song with White Iverson and 2 other really big songs. White Iverson was the year before, I'm pretty sure. But that album is now over 3 times platinum and sold 11.2K just last week. An album that's over 4 years old is outselling a lot of these rappers. I believe this is a decent first showing for DDG, and he just really needs to keep grinding and hopefully catch himself another hit. His career has just started. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think this was a flop? Like and subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell as well. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.